Welcome back, Bobcat fans, to another season preview, and this time we have men's basketball with head coach Sean Brown Sr. Coach, I just want to get your overall thoughts on how the team's been coming together over the last few weeks of their preseason.
Well, I think the guys have been they've been working really hard. Little bit of soreness because we've cranked it up here at the end, leading into the October 15th date. So guys have been sore, but they've really been working hard and trying to eat right and get the proper rest and proper treatment to get ready for the season.
Wanted to talk about some of that, where obviously last winter didn't get the full off season due to COVID protocols. The department kind of shut down around November, December just to keep everyone safe, and then basically started up the winter season with just a couple of weeks of practice. Now you have this full time to prepare. The team can get to know one another, bringing in new players. You can gel with the new system. How beneficial has it been to get this full off season to work?
Oh, it's been night and day. Last year having shut down on October 14th, the day before the first day of practice, was tough for our guys. We finding out early to mid December that we're actually going to have a season, and then having 8 days to prepare for that season was really tough on our guys. So I think this year, our guys are able to learn a lot of our concepts. A lot of things we want to do defensively that you can't learn overnight or you can't learn on the fly. We're able to put in those packages. Offensive, we always feel like offense will come, but defensively we've really struggled this past year because we weren't able to put in those concepts and have our guys conditioned the way we want them conditioned, and chemistry, it affected our chemistry also.
So coming back into this year, you bring back almost the entire roster from last year, bar a couple players here and there, but a lot of the core players, players that come to mind, Ajay Edwards, Kanan Bartley, Sean Patterson, Desmond Renee, Bo Sheen, just to name some, a lot of them are coming back. They can help some of the new guys to acclimate to Frostburg and college basketball and how it's played here. Who has sort of stepped up for you in like a leadership role, really taking on things to where they can show the younger players, the way that you want them to play?
Well, that would be several guys. Ajay's really stepped up and emerged as probably the leader of the team. Kanan Bartley, really quiet leader. You guys have spent some time with him. He's really quiet, but his game is really loud. He's kind of stepped up, and especially on the court, and showed guys and telling guys the way we want things done, and really actually, how can I say it? On the court, actually physically showing them what we want instead of telling them what we want. Jalen Johnson has stepped up. That's a name that you and myself talked about off camera a lot last year. He's really stepped up. He's really emerged as a quiet leader. He's still finding himself as a leader in that leadership role. But as far as basketball is concerned, and on the court, he's really starting to turn the corner into a primetime player, and really understanding the way we want him to play basketball. And the growth has been tremendous. So those are the returners that really kind of has been stepping up and showing our younger guys the way.
Get into those young guys and some of the new players that you've brought in. A couple of transfer players, a freshman class that have come in. Obviously, some of them aren't going to get the heavy minutes that some others will, but everyone obviously is important to the depth of the squad and being able to rotate at all times. Who has kind of stood out to you as someone that's, you recruit people for a reason, but they've kind of exceeded your expectations of, I thought this guy was good in this type of way, but he's actually good in a whole lot of ways?
Well, Michael Tate, we figured he'd be a guy that come in and play some quality minutes for us, but he's really been he's been a really interesting player for us. We're not sure where he fits in. We weren't sure where he fits in, but what we do know is he's physical, he's aggressive, he can rebound from the guard position. He's 6'4". He's an athlete, and he plays really hard. Those are the things that I really didn't see on tape, and I watched a lot of tape on Michael, and he's a really good defender. And I mean, if you know me quite a bit, I'm a defensive coach, and I flat out told him, about 10 days ago now, Michael, it's gonna be hard to keep you off the court if you play this way, every game. And he goes, "No, Coach, this is what I do." So, that's been very interesting. I would say Michael Tate, he's a transfer from Jackson State. He's from Texas. So he's one that, a guy to keep an eye on.
Looking into the schedule for this year and in the non-conference, a lot of PSAC teams that we're going to be playing against obviously makes sense regionally to go against them. You kind of get a feel for how the region is going to look in terms of what teams are going to be looking for NCAA status, what teams can we compare ourselves against when we look at that division. So scheduling those teams, it's beneficial for us to play those teams. We're not traveling these huge long distances. Some other schools go down to like South Carolina, Texas, Florida, all those. But to get a feel for your team in the opening weeks and get ready to prepare for the MEC season against them.
Well, that PSAC is a tough conference. I think they're rated just above us. So, what better way to get ready for the season than to go against, what I would call our conference's rival conference. And they do the same. They start out with a lot of Mountain East schools, because they want to see how good they are. There's no better way than to kind of measure how good your players are than to start out with healthy competition. And obviously, starting out with that kind of competition, that'll roll right into the Mountain East Conference, which is grueling. So
talking about that schedule where this year you have the home and home with every team in the MEC. Where last winter it was like, every week it's like, well, are we really going to play this team or are we going to play another team because they can't play right now? So having that home and home, you get to see every team. A lot of changes from last year. A lot of rosters have gone through wholesale changes. So, what does it mean for you guys to be able to see every team at least once and kind of scout them, be able to recognize every team when you play them at home and then when you play them on the road?
Well, last year it was just, it was different for everybody. This year is a lot closer to normal than a lot closer to what we're used to. So, it is going to be nice to have those home and homes right here in, within the season. Play a team the first time, but no matter if you do good or bad, you get a chance to really dig in and scout those teams and get another shot at those teams. There was a few schools last year that, I wish we'd have got another shot at. Just kind of how things worked out. We weren't able to, but this year, I think things going back closer to normal will give us a chance. Will give us a real shot at competing at a high level in the Mountain East Conference.
Now, when this team is kind of clicking on all cylinders, all the pieces are fitting together, what's their best basketball that they're going to be capable of? What's it going to look like on the floor when you guys are on your top form, assuming all the players buy in and everyone is sort of on the same role as they can be?
We want to lead the league in assists, so it'll be a lot of sharing the ball offensively, and defensively we're gonna turn up the pressure just a little bit more than we did last year. So it should be it should look more closer to Mountain East basketball than it has the last 2 years. We're going to be physical. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be fast. We're going to take a lot of shots, hopefully make a lot of shots, and we're going to defend the heck out of the ball. So it's going to be a fun style to watch. The fans are going to be should be entertained. They should have a treat this year, and I'm just so excited to get going.
One thing I did want to touch on here as we wrap up, but having fans back at Bobcat Arena in full capacity this year, what's that going to mean to your team and the energy that's going to be in on Arena on those home basketball days?
Well, our fans are the best. I feel like we get the biggest crowds. We have the best fans, always have since since I've come in 1997. These students get loud. It's mostly students in the crowd, and those folks get loud. They really care about the school. They care about their athletics, and ever since we've been Division II, they've been looking for something to cheer about. Our football team's doing, really well, and our basketball team is men's basketball in particular. We're trying to, we're trying to catch up. They want something to cheer about, and our fans. Again, we have the best fans. They're here. If we're winning, they're here. If we're losing, but if we're winning, they're cheering a lot louder. So it's going to be, it gives our guys an extra burst of energy, give them some juice, and we'll see. I think it's going to be fun to have those folks back in the stands this year.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on today to talk about your team. We always love hearing you talk here, as you know, from last year's Bobcats, but we really appreciate you being here. We want to wish you the best of luck for this upcoming season.
Well, thanks, Logan. If you don't mind, I'd like to thank a few people. Dr. Nowacek, Mr. Troy Dell, my supervisor, Ruben Stevenson. Those folks showed me a ton of support every single day, and they want the best out of this athletic program and men's basketball in particular. So I definitely don't want to leave without thanking those folks and the entire Mountain East Conference for welcoming us in and showing us a lot of respect.
Absolutely want to give thanks to our entire athletic department. You can follow men's basketball all season long on the Frostburg Sports Network, and as well listening on the radio at 99.5 WDZN for all of their road games and home games. So thank you, and go Bobcats.